Oi! Who took my chomp away? Well, another year is here, and reflecting on the last year of tech, it certainly was one of the years of all time. Look, everyone's grumbling about tech because it's terrible. But don't worry, look, we'll do this a better way. Right, well, we're going to show something good, and then we'll look at something bad. Something good, look at these audio gubbins. All these things have been sweet. You haven't heard me talk about Theo for a hot minute? Because I'm still loving what I've already got. Like this M17, this does everything I want from a music player. It's like the most ultimate iPod of iPods. Huge stinky power to run any headphones. Look at all the headphone holes it's got. I can grab anything I want and just put it in. I love this case, even though it's technically scratching the screen every time I put it in and out, but it's fine. It even comes with a bespoke power supply to get even more out of it, and I honestly nearly never use it because what it's got is honestly heaps. Oh, and shout out to Theo build quality. This is James's old BTR5, like the nug of nugs. It's meant to look like this, by the way. But what happened was this was sitting in the car during an Australian summer. I think it was a year ago. You know, and we hit like a cool like 47 that day or something. Yeah, and the battery inside expanded and went poof and blew this screen out. Well, as I should, glass cover, because that's the screen there. So James yanked the battery out of it, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, now it's just a dongle deck. So this is still a useful piece of audio equipment. Yeah, Theo! My little i-Fi was Go Blue. Use this all the time. I love that it's got the big balanced output. That's my favorite. And I love this little wheel. It's got clickies in it. This topping MX5. You can just plug this USB into your computer, and now you've got a really smelly headphone amp. Like the power supply for this, it's the size of this. And boy, does it get hot. But what I wanted from this, yes, that's old school speakers. I've got some old 80s floor standards that I love. I've been dragging around for 10 years. And yeah, this is so I can plug them into my computer. Oh, and speaking of dongle DACs, what if you just bought a dongle DAC? This was just to shut up the crappy headphone out that computers have, and it's just me, and USB noises. Something Macs do really good is that they usually have silent headphone jacks. USB is kind of a nightmare for keeping noise down because it's usually the USB that's making the noise. But these are cheap. Plug them in, and it works for me. So it's not just that the internet is just a mess now and just hallucinations. I've had AI lie about me. I'm so glad a lot of stuff that I like is old, so I can actually find paper references for information. I want to know more about my old S-Class Mercedes. Mate, 1979 edition of Wheels magazine. This was the Aussie car mag. Still is. And this is the best bit about doing it this way. Oh, panel van! Not only do I get to learn about the car, I'm learning the vibe it existed in. Look, like these are all brand new machines. There it is. There's so many cigarette ads in this thing. Oh, and stuff like this. These just specifications outlined like this. Ah, nuggets! This is a full-page ad for that radio right there. That thing you wouldn't have for free. Seriously, if you want to learn about stuff, we have to go old school. Books, magazines, like, for drum stuff. It's impossible to find anything, and Modern Drummer has been just a tome. Look, it's Questlove back in 05. Full-blown article written up. I get to learn about the gear, which is like learning about a racing car driver's car, Well, this is really important for my drum thing that I'm working on because I've got Modern Drummer's catalog back to the 70s. I pay for the subscription. I've found the originals, and I've got digital copies of every single page. And I've gone in and like every single page have noted what's on it to make my own database. Honestly, when AI was getting really popular and my first goes at searching with it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find a new way. Modern operating systems, Apple and Windows, I can't even search to find pages out of these. If I search Questlove into my computer, it'll show me 10,000 things that have nothing to do with anything that I want. PDFs, stuff from mail, like web searches, nothing. The only OS that actually just shows it to me, Linux. So like to sort through all my stuff and all the study I'm doing has to be on Linux. I cannot find a single thing on modern OSs. It's and like this isn't even the internet. This is like my things on a computer. Can't find them. So, I like gaming.
And the controller I've been using is the Xbox controller I pinched from that horrifically disappointing Xbox One X. And, I just synced that to the computer and it just chowed it out. It started getting gross. I'm sick of throwing stuff out. I'm like, I'm gonna get a really, really nice controller, and through all my reading, all these videos and stuff, FlyDigi Apex 4. I got this, I think, when the 5 had just come out. And so they were doing a sale on these. Man, I was all in. This is the only Bluetooth I can stand when it's like a little dongle like this, because then it literally just talks and works, as long as you don't lose this or break this. But I do like that it really is just a normal USB-C controller. You don't even need to use it. Boom, there you go. Now it's cabled. These are pretty heckin' expensive, but this is my favorite controller so far, because watch this. See these little pots here? You pull out this. That's a key. So you can tune how tight you want these sticks to be. You can have one floppy and one super tight. I've dialed these in. I like a little bit of resistance. And look, it's all just magnets. How do they work? Everything only goes on one way. And it's not an enthusiast product unless it's got RGB. I think it's RGB. Oh, look, it's complaining that there's no input. You can really play around with this screen if you care. I don't. It is actually just nice having it tell me how much battery's left. And that's it. The difference is just huge. The slightest movement and your character reacts to it, and they're less likely to drift. If you don't know what controller drift is, just speak to your Nintendo Switch owners. Windows is just a gimme. It's spyware now. It's terrible, ad-riddled spyware. Hey, hot take, 10 was never good. 10 was never good. This channel was born on a computer that I built myself running Windows 10 with a 2700 and an RTX 2070 in it, and that's what I was using to edit these first videos. I was Mac until iCloud destroyed all my dankmas music, and that's why I can't upload it again anywhere else. And then I went Windows, and I lasted a year and went back. Windows Adobe combination, it's impossible. It doesn't work. I was offended at Microsoft when I was paying like $280 for a Windows 10 license, right? I was doing it legit, and there were ads in the start bar. Ads, and you're all surprised that Windows is worse than ever. 7 was the last good one, and now Windows barely functions. You ask it to shut down. Done it, can't do it. Update and shut down, impossible. It's slopware. But the thing is, if you want to game the best, it's always been Windows. That's been your only choice, which is ending nowadays. Apple's on that slippery slope. They're technically making the best machines they ever have. Ever since the M processors, incredible. But you can't fix them. Like, you have problems, you chuck them in the bin. That's why my main computer is at Nitro 5. I can change the storage, the RAM, the Wi-Fi card, anything. I put off getting the latest macOS because my machine works and everything's fine. I relented, got the new macOS, and then while I was editing a huge Linux video, as soon as I updated the OS, all of a sudden, I wasn't able to open up footage that I just converted myself. I just run it through Handbrake, and now it's going like, this is unsigned. I don't know what this is. I can't open this. It's risk to your computer. I thought macOS was looking like Vista's Aero, and now it's given us the same vibes of going, you can't do anything. No, don't you do that. A big reason I do all my editing on Mac is that, for the most part, it's just either that or Windows. We'll talk about Linux in a bit. And it just feels like the grown-up in the room running Adobe through Mac. That's how it felt. And that's actually when I started Garbage Time, because now I wasn't spending all my time troubleshooting footage to get stuff to even work. That's how much extra time I had. I can edit for a completely different YouTube channel. And then when I moved to Final Cut and just made it all Apple and finally got away from Adobe, it took me now I'm doing gaming channel stuff, and I am working on drum stuff. I still am, I swear. Yeah, it saved that much time just dumping Windows and Adobe. But the end days are coming. The thing I love about Apple is that you can just buy the software outright. I know it's like $500 for Final Cut, but I've been using the same license for half a decade. I've been using the same license of Logic Pro for easily a decade. I'm still able to jump in, use it, get updates. Like, it's amazing. 1 year of Adobe is more than $500, and you own nothing at the end of it except for headaches. And people saying just use DaVinci on Linux. You use DaVinci on Linux. Again, we'll get to that. But the end times are coming. They're now offering all these productivity apps as a subscription. And then people go, oh, but don't worry. It's going to be fine because they still offer a paid version if you want it. Yeah, for now. It's the end days. Yeah, subscriptions creeping in and they're going to phase that away. $500 gets you like half a year of Adobe. Apple's looking at that money just going, I have a plan. Something magical has happened, which is that I don't need a faster computer anymore. I only plan on doing 4K 60. No more than that. 4K is so stinky. If I want better quality, I'll get a better camera. It's why I did. But the actual amount of frames that I need to edit, that ain't changed. And what I've noticed is my M3 Max, which I've been using for the last 2 years, it's like perfectly great. It's all the power I need. If I want to make more content, that's on me and my time management. And I'm working as hard as I can, I swear. I'm the bottleneck. And then finding out that an M4 Pro Mac Mini has more power than the M3 Max. Honestly, I'm going to pull the trigger on 2 little Mac Minis with M4 Pros. I'd like to wait for the M5 Pro, but the price might double by then. Yeah, and I'm going to install Logic Pro, Final Cut, all the plugins, all my main assets, and I'm going to rip the internet out of it and never touch it again. This thing that's capturing dank pods as we speak is a machine running Windows 10 that's unplugged from the internet. It captures 4K 60. We're done. What do we need updates for? Hey, the stories of people finding these like ancient computers still in an industrial environment because it's plugged into a CNC machine and needs to cut circles. And an old VIC-20 can cut circles. And so it's been working for 40 years because it still cuts good circles. Why replace it? Thanks to this M3 Max, I now know how much performance I actually need. I'm getting 2 because I'm going to live out of one of them. And the day it dies, we'll put the other one in. But I'm going to do everything I can to keep that first one running. I'm going to get them both set up and then put one back in the box. There's no batteries to rot out. There's nearly no guts inside them at all anyway. That's how I'm dealing with the emborkification. As Ollie's keep saying, well, just edit on Linux and then off you go. All right, perfect timing. Take that, let me down. I love Linux. Serious, I love Linux. My most important, all my treasured personal data, my like old photos and like my old uni assignments and like voice record, like, you know, really personal stuff. None of it lives in the cloud. Absolutely not. I got a big Ubuntu Linux box. It's just a tower full of hard drives. It's got 4 hard drives in it in pairs. All of them have been encrypted, so you need a password to even look at them. Not even a RAID 5. I want rock and stick levels of reliability. I want to be able to pull any drive out and put it in any other Linux box, put in the code and get my data out. There are a set of paired drives, and paired as in they just have the same stuff dragged onto them. Nothing fancy. And then I have an identical one in another location. One's AMD, one is Intel. Half the drives are Toshiba's, half the drives are WD Reds. So if one motherboard's prone to failure, the other one will live. If one hard drive is prone to failure, the other one will live. And nothing's online. They're just hard drives encrypted in bays, and only I can get to them. Pretty good. Come on. Come on.
I think that's pretty top tier in terms of like just guaranteeing my data. But guaranteed, there's a heavy Linux user out there going, oh, well, you should have used a RAID of some kind. You should have done this. You could have done that. And that's my biggest gripe with Linux. It is so newbie unfriendly. I understand and respect that there are people in those groups who literally run infrastructure that makes the entire planet work, right? The whole backbone is Linux. But if you're not interested in helping newbies, then just don't engage. I'm so lucky I got good mates who do work with Linux professionally who've been able to help me out. Because anytime I've seen forums or groups, you just kind of get told that, you know, you're an idiot. You should have known some stuff already before asking us. Use the search function. Never mind that like 17 different results for the same problem come up because Linux is this like hand-built experience at the moment with all different hardware. With my Linux Summer Games video, I knew I was going to get hounded for picking Bazite and choosing an experience where it was just click updates, play your game. That's it, like a console. I made sure to doink that. I'm doing it this way because this is what people actually want. No one likes terminal. No one likes troubleshooting. A truly great OS is one that you're not even realizing is happening in the background. But it doesn't matter. I just pissed off a whole bunch of hardcore Linux users, you know, making Linux look bad. Or it's like, oh, you should have used Catchy OS. You should have used Arch OS. You should have used Mint OS. You should have used Random OS. No one outside of the hardcore circles has ever heard of. Not that I'm going to get worked up about YouTube comments, but it really just does sell the scene where it's just like, you know, the 1080 Ti didn't work, and there was like someone being like, oh well, you know, you're supposed to download and install a specific version of Bazite for that. You clearly didn't do that. You're not smart enough to do this. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show all my homework. Like, there's an ARC one. That's an NVIDIA one. I've got a pair of those. What's that? AMD. Yeah, and there it is. That's the one. 900 and 1000 series NVIDIA stuff. And it actually is a little bit offensive because when you go and install Bazite, it steps you through. Okay, what do you have? All right, how are you doing it? You know, just basically being told that I can't follow baby steps, and that's why it didn't work. It isn't that Linux is still kind of terrible, which is fine because it's unconditionally free. You don't give any information out to download it, no money, no nothing. Google is not unconditionally free. You're the product, right? So by law and definition, Linux has to suck a little bit, but it's just the attitude. It's that I was being a regular customer, like the year of Linux is coming, not until all you do is just click go and play your game and don't even think about Linux. My experience with Linux has been good because it's private and secure, but crappy because it's confusing and no one wants to help you. You're just told, you're an idiot, you can't etch a USB yourself, you dumb moron. To the hardcore, don't you already have your version of Linux? Aren't you happy? Just leave us alone. Just let us casuals be.
A tech that I like on the follow-up of the Linux thing, mate, the B80, the numbers, and I also pumped to try one of these. Look, I got the OEM Intel one. They make crappy processors, never gonna forgive you for wasting money on this thing. I did try an RMA it actually, but Intel is, they're dealing with an internal fire of some sorts. They kept cancelling it and restarting until I told them just to F themselves, and don't worry, I've already gone AMD and I'm not coming back. And all they were gonna do was send me another one anyway. A chip that is guaranteed to die. Thanks, Intel. But hey, graphically, this ran so good in Linux, it was just easy. And yeah, I did the same thing with all of them, where I just went update, did a reboot, update again, and it sung like an angel. These aren't hugely powerful. They're kind of like a 4060 if it was an NVIDIA thing. Plenty of VRAM, and it works. You just get stable computing. I've already put this in a proper case so I can actually use it for a little bit. It doesn't do 4K. Oh, this Netgear idiot. I don't even know what it's called anymore. My addresses don't have any internet going to them at all. Like, Australia is just a death zone for internet technologies, man. Like, we had the NBN set up to go, and then idiots jumped in and changed it and just made it worse, and we're still dealing with it. No, it was 12 years ago. No, it was about 13 years ago that happened, and we're still dealing with it, right? Politics is no joke. This is a 5G modem thing. You can actually put an antenna into it and Ethernet out. Install a proper antenna on the roof. We did that. Took the battery out, and there's a setting in here to be like no battery, so you don't blow it up and expand it. Ethernet out into like a proper network, and so all the Ethernet jacks in the building. And every 3 weeks, it would just turn off. And so I'd come into work, there'd be no internet, reset this, and it's fine. And then that started to get worse and worse and worse. And then I had to investigate, pulled it apart, and the SIM card inside of it was curly. That's how hot it was getting. Insanity! And it never had a warning on reboot saying, yo, bro, I got really hot. I was just using it like you're allowed to use it. And I got a year out of this. A year. $400 well spent. It's still going so hard. I can't believe I've had it for over 2 years and it's still brilliant. And it's the reason why I'm into Linux, because of how good it was. I was even using it as a desktop, like plugged in with a dongle into a monitor and keyboard and mouse. It's that damn good. And I can't wait for the Steam machine. I can't wait to get one. I'm gonna get one, and I think it's gonna be one of the greatest gaming machines of all time. Serious. How good that Steam Deck runs. I mean, the next bit of this video is going to be a laptop. Oh boy. The whole Linux Summer Games was all spawned by the fact that the laptop that you're going to see in a minute was running terribly and actually getting less performance than the Steam Deck in Linux. It's all about drivers and support. And I'm looking at how good this Steam Deck is running. It's like, oh my gosh, what is it, like 5-10 times the power in the Steam machine? I'll take it. But I mean, like, the greatest portable gaming experience is clearly this. This thing changed my worldview. I don't look at the world the same anymore. I mean, all I do is play eggs. Bleb! Like, what? Bleb! It changed my life! So the final one is actually a bit of a big one. It was actually going to be its whole own video until it fit into this theme just so perfectly. So I heard you like dank pods, so I put dank pods in your dank pods. This idiot's just a work machine. I don't have an undying love for this brand. I will happily deface this. Huh? took your chomp away. My relationship with this thing and Macs in general is people's relationship with Windows and gaming. I just want to edit videos without piles of troubleshooting or subscription fees. I've owned Final Cut for years and I don't have to pay for it. And yes, I have tried Linux and DaVinci, and I think I've got a better chance at rebuilding the Saturn V rocket and flying to the moon myself. You folks using Windows, you just want the most out of your GPU, and Windows does it. But that's the thing, like, this isn't my personal laptop. My personal laptop is an Acer Nitro 5. I've had it for ages now. Because, that MacBook Pro, honestly, it's been fantastic. It's doing a great job. And I, for the first time in ages, don't need a new work machine. I am up for a new laptop. It's not an Apple thing, and I could go full-blown laptop shopping. And look, I gotta tell you, like, I've always wanted a maniacal spec gaming laptop. Where it's like basically too big to take anywhere, and it's cringe. Like, it's embarrassing to sit anywhere with it. I have longed for this. And just like my Nitro 5, there's Black Friday sales. I saw a pop-up and I had it. Well, I wound up with a Gigabyte Aorus Master. This is the 16-inch version. I think there's an 18 or something. So there's some big reasons that I got this. It's got some specs in it that I was very interested in, but the main overreaching one is it was discounted by about $3,000. Even with that huge discount, this thing is still not worth it, which is another reason why I kind of wanted it, because it's a freak underneath here. I've really come to appreciate proper displays. If you want your computer to look better, but you don't buy a new graphics card, nothing, get a proper display, like OLEDs and high refresh rates. My goodness, it just lifts everything. This has a 240 hertz OLED, and my golly goodness, looks like you could jump through it. It's so good. 32 gigs of DDR5, which I think is worth a house now. Like, I couldn't get this machine again. It is like massively plastic build, right? But I don't care. I'm after the performance, and the processor in this thing is heck. And hiding inside of here is the fastest laptop graphics you can get. I mean, they call it a 5090, 50 being the series, 90 meaning the fastest, even though it is way slower than the desktop 90. They've been like that for some time. It really is just marketing. This is not a 5090. It's actually more like a desktop 5070, which is technically amazing if you look at how much power it uses. And I did say that I wanted something kind of embarrassing, kind of cringe, because that's the gaming laptop way. And like, outwardly, this is not that big of a chunker. I mean, I could barely get it in the frame here. I mean, look, you can see it's got the ports, it's got Ethernet, HDMI, USB-C on both sides, and micro SD. It's got your headphone, and they're like Thunderbolt 5, I believe, and you could put more storage in it. You can change the RAM out. Like, you can actually work on this thing. But it is covered in RGB, and the cringiest of all is that it'll pull out its own name out of the back. Yeah, look, here it is. That's so cringe. But oh no, where'd it go? Whoop! It shut off on me. We're going to learn more about that in a minute. Okay, yeah, all right, that's something. All right, you can see, like, RGB keyboard, the back's all razzle-dazzle. But you notice there's nothing on the top and at the front, like I'm showing the front, okay? Yeah, that's meant to be RGB and illuminated and do stuff. And there is actually, like, an RGB strip at the front here that's meant to be lit up and doing stuff. This did work, and then within, like, 2 days, it would desync from the rest of the RGB. It was kind of doing its own thing. And then it would just show the same colors with no animation, and now it doesn't work at all. And literally yesterday, this stopped working. This is like, I'm done giving you the light show. Is it a subscription fee? I mean, Gigabyte didn't tell me that like RGB runs out after a month. Maybe it does, I don't know. But whatever, this is just like the extra embarrassing crap on top. I really was looking for the performance and looking to lock in a high-powered laptop to live out of for next 5 or 6 years, honestly. And seeing where computer hardware is going, there might not be new computer hardware for a while. I'm sorry, I can hear the fans running, you piece. So many times I've shut this down, put it in my bag, it's woken up on its own and tried to cook itself. This is new. It has not done this before. It's getting worse by the second. So yeah, like Linux wasn't running hot, and I don't blame Linux, right? You know, when you look at the Steam survey as like the most popular configurations, this is, as it turns out, one of the rarest pieces of gaming silicon there is. But with it finally running Windows 11, I was like, okay, look, let's see what this thing can do. There's software called 3D Mark. It's benchmarking software, but the whole point of it is that you can't adjust the settings. You just run it. Even if it runs at 2 FPS, doesn't matter. You just run it, and then you can see how your computer runs compared to everyone else using the exact same hardware. No one's running anything unique, right? It's all NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. That's it. Well, I was pretty pumped with me 5090 monster laptop, fired up 3D Mark, and oh no, that's slow. Oh, God. But if you look closely, there's this little bump. There's like this little loser mountain that I'm sitting on. There's other people in my situation. I know with gaming laptops, it's super vague what you're actually getting. Just because it says 5090 laptop, you know, there could be different SKUs that have different power limits. The power supply that came with this is 330 watts. Is that the small one? Is this literally like an underpowered, like slowed down, but doesn't run as hot version of a 5090? Because I'm telling you, I tried full reinstalls, waited for new drivers. I mean, this thing came out nearly a year ago. Surely the bugs are ironed out. Then something that happened was it started running really slowly. And holy stink, it just started crawling. And as you can see, it's recognizing the 5090 GPU because it's Intel graphics in here as well. And I've made sure to go into the BIOS and tell it discrete graphics only. Don't use the slow power efficient graphics. Nah, same extra low score. And then even better, it stopped attempting them. Fresh Windows 11 install, a genuine copy of Windows 11, newest drivers, everything. At this point, I couldn't even get Bazite to reinstall on it. It's just a complete mess. Something's up in it, man. And look, the OLED does look gorgeous. It's very reflective though, which completely revealed a vicious flaw. Here's my MacBook Pro screen reflecting the fluoros on my roof, and you can see there's like a slight bow to it. It's not perfectly flat, doesn't have to be. Here's the Aorus Master. This is a premium laptop. Look at this mess. If you catch like a bad glare on the screen while you're using it, it's like a clown mirror. It's incredible. Like, what kind of standards are they working with here? So it's very expensive, slow, potentially fragile, and built terribly, and actually completely broken. All these issues I'm having, they're on top of one big glaring one. I noticed that the battery was always flat anytime I grabbed it. That's very typical of Windows and just PC laptops. So, oh, I better just leave it plugged in so, you know, I can actually just use it straight away. It was getting flat even plugged in. The charging hole is completely carbonculated. Yes, you can charge it down USB-C ports if you want the slowest charging of your life, not actually quite enough to look at the Windows desktop or even browse files while charging. But without that stinky plug, you can't use the graphics card on this thing. That's the power supply for the graphics, basically. All 330 watts of that thing. I can get it to charge if I hold it in a funny way and like wrangle it down, but that's like keeping your boat afloat with duct tape. You're just sinking slower. You haven't fixed it. There's something wrong with the connector, and like reefing on it and bending on it, that's just going to accelerate it. It's now a ticking time bomb to where I can't even use it for what I wanted it for. So literally right now, I'm going to take this and put it in its box, and I'm going to head to the store that I got it from because I'm so glad I didn't buy it online. I had to go in and pick it up from a brick and mortar store. I'm going to head straight back there. We have really good consumer law here in Australia. I'm really hoping that I can dump this thing and not have it anymore. The charger, the performance, and then that frickin' screen. This thing is an abomination. See you in a bit. I'm literally going there right now. Yeah, look, it's been about a month, and thankfully, I got refunded. Oh man, what a bad machine. So bad, and that's so typical. Most of the stuff that I'm enjoying tech-wise is older stuff, or stuff made by the smaller players. Man, That thing was so crap from the screen, the performance, it was dying on me. Can you believe that screen got past their quality control? Oh, and I'm loving CDs. CDs are amazing. I don't use any subscription nothings anymore, from DVDs to Blu-rays to CDs. Scotland the brave! And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to these stinky names right here. They're my biggest $10 float planners. Thank you so much. There's no ads. There's none of that. You folks help out so much in these times where no one has any stinking money. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's float plane, as I've said. All my extra stuff's there. And there's dingusland.fun. If you want to waste time, you could head there. And you know, Matt, I'll see you next time.
Nothing. I'm putting it right there. Yay! We got some. Thanks, Frankie.